What up? What up? Not move. It's your boy Tinez, and I got your boy Bag with us today. It is week 3, Baltimore versus Detroit. How you feeling, Bag?
Man, Tinez, I am super amped up for this matchup, big dog.
I am too, brother. I am too. Yo, I have to say, right now, I need to see some improvement, man. I'm not gonna lie. The last couple weeks, I think there's been some improvement past since week 1 and 2. But now I want to see a lot more of this run game go into action. This is definitely going to be a running game. This is going to be a rushing game. It's going to be literally Derrick Henry versus Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. This is it. Like, I'm expecting it to go 2-1, man. I'm excited. I really am.
Likewise, big dog, likewise. I concur that I think this has to be a follow up game for Derrick Henry. It has to be explosive. I need at least 125 on the ground, touchdown or two. Two would be better, but at least one. For him to be bottled up, I think he had 13 carries for like 30 something yards, 32, 34, something in that area against the Cleveland Browns, who actually have a really good defense this year. I mean,
No, they
they always have somewhat of a good defense, but for some reason this year they're firing on all cylinders. I don't know if you watched the Green Bay game.
no,
Miles
I did.
Garrett, Miles Garrett was getting triple teamed.
No, it wasn't even just Myles Garrett though. Like a lot, even the defensive tackles, they played astonishing going into that second half. Honestly, I honestly see them being easily a top 5, top 3 defensive line. Easily. Easily. No doubt. Especially when you look at people like you got Mike Hall, you got Myles Garrett, Mason Graham. I mean, that's just the start. From there, their depth just gets even more. So when you talk about guys like that who are young and wanting to actually play the game, then you got a guy like Jerome Baker on linebacker. You're expecting some big, heavy run defensive stops there for sure.
I do want to give them a shout out because even though they're a rival, and
Right.
I kind of hate their guts, but Devin Bush was a great pickup for them.
Yeah, it was. It was. As much as we don't really like Devin Bush, especially for him, how he was a Pittsburgh Steeler and now a Cleveland Brown, which is kind of odd.
Yeah, no, that is facts. I just, when players sign to the Browns, in my mind, it's just because they're NFL purgatory. It's just a
Right.
check, right? So I don't expect guys to just go there and ball out. I mean, of course, Devin Bush can because he's a great player, but just having the stench of the Cleveland Browns, you know what I mean?
Right.
It kind of, if I was a player, I wouldn't be giving it all my all every game. For what? I'm getting my bag.
Sure. Now, I will say though, like coming into this next week, we do have a pretty good amount of pieces injured. I don't know if you really looked at our injury list right
I
now.
did. Yes,
So
I did.
it's wow.
Yeah, Justin Matabike is the biggest concern for me this in the injury lineup.
Not even just him. I mean, you got Patrick Ricard still out. You got Jair out. Mitchell, Van Noy. I mean, there's quite a few that are inactive due to coach decisions or injury aspect related. So
Yeah, that is
it
true.
is a little unfortunate. Do I think the defense is still going to step up, though? I think some players will step up pretty well. I think this will give a lot of younger players options, especially a guy like Malachi Starks. He has been on the field, but has not quite brought the spotlight yet to the table, and I'm quite excited to see if hopefully he can do that tonight.
Yeah, especially like you said, because with Matabike being out, we got to be able to solidify the inside, right? We cannot have Montgomery just getting 4 or 5 yards a clip, right? Because once you break down the middle of the defense everything else falls. All right,
Right.
and we do know Jameer. He is amazing on the outside, amazing. But I have faith in Jay Higgins, Roquan. You know what I mean? I think our linebackers they can rally to the tackle. So
No, for sure.
if Gibbs wants to go outside, we just got to keep the contain on the edge, just for half a second, right? Just so the backers can slide over to that side and help pursue. But the inside is key, especially with
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Madubuike
I
being
think
there.
that will honestly be a big key today, especially with you got outside linebackers like Mike Green. You got an edge, decent quality defensive edge, David Ajabu. Where's the outside linebacker? He looks like a DN to me every time. I don't
I
know. His
think he is a
frame looks like
defensive end.
a DN. Okay, I was about to say because his frame looks like a defensive end, but I thought he was an outside linebacker based on the way they have him so far wide out. So, but no, I think those two will definitely be another key piece, especially off of the depth. I mean, you gotta have those guys step up, especially when you have a guy like Madubuike out. So, I mean, honestly, I think a lot of it's gonna be defensive line rotation, a lot of linebacker rotation, maybe some secondary rotation, though I don't think we're gonna have to go anything crazy. Considering we can already have Marlon as a nickel back or a slot nickel as is. He always plays down the nickel.
Yeah, and I think we'll fare well on offense because um, the first couple games I've seen with Aiden Hutchinson, he's not fully back to 100% physical. Hey, he might be physically 100%. It might be a combination of physicality and mentally of why he's
For sure.
not having the explosive that he used to have last year before the injury.
No,
But I
yeah, a
do,
lot of that has to go with mentality.
yeah, for sure, 100%. But I do want to point out that the Detroit Lions, they run the fourth most man coverage in the NFL,
Oh,
fourth
yeah.
highest. And what we do know is that if you play man against Lamar Jackson, good luck. Good
Yeah,
luck.
yeah, there's that. And also, I mean, though I also have to give kind of some of the safeties credit because need be Kirby Joseph. Nah, you definitely might have a play or two in there. Considering of how athletically strong he is and able to just get someone off the BPU off deep. Honestly, honestly, very decent safety.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping on him at all. Not at all. I just because Lamar is so great at man coverage, and
Mhm.
that's like his specialty.
It
I
is.
think we would fare pretty well, right? And then on the defensive side, like I said, we got to shut down the inside run. Unfortunately, Matabike is not going to be there. You brought up Starks. I do want to see a big game from him. Um, but overall, if we can get to Jared Goff and just rush him off his spot, speed up his processing and his pocket clock, we'll be okay. You know what I mean? Try to get an interception or a fumble, and we'll be okay.
Yeah, no, a lot of this is gonna have to do with guys like Taylor Decker. Like that's just who we're gonna just have to stop right there. That and their guards, which honestly I wouldn't really see being the largest issue because don't get me wrong, I mean, run game wise, I've always seen Detroit having a pretty decent run game, but pass game wise, you never really know what type of Jared Goff you're gonna get.
So, wide receiver wise, who do you think scores a touchdown tonight?
For Baltimore?
Yes. Well, both. We can do
Oh,
Detroit as well.
okay. Okay. Well, if we're talking Baltimore, I could definitely see DeAndre probably getting another one here tonight. I know that sounds crazy, but I probably see it being more him. I don't really expect them giving it to a lot of Zay. I feel like they're gonna try to go more for that big shot, especially if now. I mean, shoot, we've seen DeAndre try to face people in press coverage. It's not well. It's not well. Good luck. Good luck trying to press DeAndre Hopkins. I don't care how old he is. Good luck.
Yeah. I mean, because he doesn't need to burn past you. right?
Nope.
He's gonna let you stay hip to hip, stride for stride, and when the ball is in the air, you have to play him for the 50-50. He's
Yep.
the possession receiver. He always has been, and he always will be.
No, for sure. And honestly, I don't know if he is back. I know he was injured in the past, though. Update me on this. Is Isaiah Likely back?
He's back to practice, limited practice. He looks okay. I wouldn't have him back
Okay, because
no
they didn't have
earlier.
him, so that's why I was wondering, because they didn't have him on there. So I didn't know if he was playing tonight or if they said anything about that.
So they originally, I want to say Saturday. Yeah, Saturday when they had the last practice or walkthrough. Um, he was supposedly a game time decision,
Oh,
and honestly, if John Harbaugh does decide to play him tonight, I'm going to be very upset. Very upset.
why you say that? Do you think it's because of the? Do you think it would be a sense of like rushing him to get back on the field?
I do because it was a fracture in his foot, the metatarsal fracture, I believe it was. Um, and that's a 6 to 8 week injury, or recovery.
Right.
And I want to say it happened a week, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks before the season started. So if you count 6 weeks, that's week 4 at the earliest.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm just more comfortable with him coming back after the Kansas City game. Week 5, have him back. That way we know it's not rushing him. Try to be as healthy as possible
I mean, I
because
hear
he's
you.
gonna unlock space on the field.
True. But I mean, still, you kind of have to give the guy credit. If he comes back week 4, you can still utilize him as a decent blocking tight end, or even if then get him at check down flat at the sideline. I don't think you would even have to even pull off some crazy plays just based off of his athleticism.
Understandable. I can dig that.
Because the thing is like you guys, right now, we need our younger athletes on the field, especially the fact that it's beginning of the season. I don't want Mark Andrews playing every single down of a Kansas City football game by week 4.
Yeah, his confidence, Mark Andrews' confidence to me is just shot.
It reminds me of Travis Kelce right now. They're kind of both in the same boat if you really think about it.
That is true. Well, I don't think
I'm
Mark
saying
Andrews as far as Kelsey, because I think Kelsey is just not as physically in shape as Mark is. But Mark ain't. He's not far behind him. I agree.
yeah, no, I definitely can say that they're not that far behind one another. One of them's got to step up for sure. Do I think it
Absolutely.
was Mark? I don't know.
I
I
think when I think when Isaiah does come back, it'll help Mark because I think by him being the primary tight end, I mean, because when we do run a 12 personnel, it's
it
Charlie
does
Cole.
run smoother. It does run smoother with Mark Andrews at 12 personnel. That is true.
Yeah, with Likely and Mark, absolutely. Because for some reason, it's not even because. I understand why. When you run a 12 personnel set with Kohler and Andrews, you're going to load up on, or you're going to pay more attention to Mark Andrews and just let Kohler. If he gets open, just long as man coverage and one-on-one, you're cool with that with Charlie Kohler.
Yeah, and the same
You're,
goes for 21 as well, like you mentioned previously with Patrick Ricard.
yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I got to double check. I'm not sure what his injury is.
It's a calf injury. I just looked into it.
Okay, cool. So he should be all right pretty soon because he hasn't played not one snap yet.
Yeah, no, Jair's is a coach decision. Cal Mitchell's is coach decision. Calvin Noy's a hamstring. Vincent, offensive tackle, coach decision, and Patrick Ricard calf.
Okay.
So
I
right now,
mean,
you got like 5 on the list.
listen, Jair needs to sit down. He needs to sit down until he's fully healthy, bro.
I agree.
Really, because I mean, I don't know what John Harbaugh was thinking in week 1. He came late in training camp. Also, I want to say, yeah, the 3 days before we played Buffalo, he was very limited in practice. It was a game time. He was questionable if he was going to play. Okay, cool. John Harbaugh, if you're going to play him, give him some snaps early. First half. You don't have a guy out there who's been questionable damn near all week playing in the most crucial situational time.
That, and on top of that, though, I mean, at the same time, it is kind of has to do with his confidence, though. I feel like at the same time, Jair was a little too confident looking into this coming season. Do I think partly that has to do with his sense of mentality because of how excited he was being with Lamar? Maybe. But in all seriousness, if you have a guy like that who has the confidence and wants to actually be on the field and wants to be available, even if risk of injury, I mean, can you really blame the guy at that point? I'm just saying.
Absolutely, I can. Right? Because,
That's your opinion.
I mean, I agree. He probably was a little hyped up and amped up because you're coming to a good franchise. You finally left Green Bay. You've been injured on and off the field for the last 2 seasons. So he was probably a little overzealous. I could see that. But also at the same time, when it comes to, and this is my pet peeve and why I'm really starting to like lean on John Harbaugh. It's too many coaches' decisions that just come back to bite us, right? And I'm tired of having to explain of why it's not Lamar Jackson. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Lamar Jackson is, especially in the playoffs, has played MVP Lamar Jackson football because he has not. Let me state that first. But also in the same sense, he gets all the grunt and the blame. And I understand that the quarterback is very important and very uh, the coach on the field, et cetera, et cetera. So they're going to touch the ball every play. So then they do get a high regard whether they win or whether they lose. But also, we have coaches, we have offensive coordinators, DCs, for specific reasons. And if your head coach, who's not an X's and O's guy, right? He's just a morale, um, learn how to control the egos, and he's great at that. Don't get me wrong, he is great at that. But when it's situational, I've seen him get outcoached so many times, especially by Mike Tomlin in the vision. It's
Oh, yeah.
sickening.
And that's one of the things where, especially when Lamar was trying to develop, it kind of annoyed me because, and this is where last season, like when you started meeting me, it's kind of where I had the reference of I always saw Lamar as being a player's coach because a lot of the times they really had to rely on coaching strategy rather than Lamar trying to be Lamar. And I think that's now it's starting to get there. Do I feel like it's hit his peak? Not yet. Do I think it's going to? Yes. The problem is when and how.
Understandable. Understandable.
They have the pieces. We have the pieces. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, they're a little banged up because it's the beginning of the season, but we have the pieces.
So if we make it to the playoffs again and we have another blunder, and it's especially coaching, and it's obviously down to scheme and situational and not, um, switching the game plan up in the second half. Do you think John Harbaugh gets fired?
Honestly, no. And to be honest with you, the reason why that is because we have seen Harbaugh, excuse me, in a downgrade recession when it comes to success and still kept him regardless of some of the mistakes and decisions he may have put in regardless of personnel. I mean, Jesus, look how many chances we gave the guy as far as wide receivers. Christ. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think so.
I mean, you're probably right, especially because he just got his extension. But I mean, we gotta do something. Something's gotta change, and we know that because the quarterbacks make so much money, the coaches will go before. I just think it's time for a new scene, a new locale, and it would be beneficial for both franchises. I don't know how it probably wouldn't happen, but a great trade, in my opinion, like I said, it'd be beneficial for both teams. Is if we call up San Fran and say, "Look, we'll trade you John Harbaugh and an ancillary piece for Kyle Shanahan."
Oof.
What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't know, because I mean, Kyle Shanahan, he's not really. I don't know. He doesn't really have as great as a resume as compared to John. If you kind of really look back at the resumes, I mean, don't get me wrong. I see what you mean. They're at the same level, but scheme wise, they haven't really met the same expectations.
I mean, you're right in the sense because of John Harbaugh's tenure has been almost 20 years, right? If I was to say in the last 10 years, it's not even a question. Kyle Shanahan has been more successful. Has he won the big game? No. But since 2016, as an offensive coordinator, he took Matt Ryan, made him an MVP, got him all the way to the Super Bowl. And we all know the famous 28-3 blown lead. But we got to remember, short 3 years after that, 2019, Super Bowl, 10-point lead in the second half. He did blow that. But you got to be in the Super Bowl to be able to blow a lead.
Yeah, that is very true. I definitely hear what you're saying. I guess I just didn't really think of it in that sense.
I mean, and I think it'd be so much more beneficial for Lamar Jackson to be in a West Coast system, especially because of how prolific of a passer he is now. I think Kyle Shanahan could unlock a part of Lamar that we still haven't even seen yet. And we just seen him. Well, actually, congratulations to him. He's the all-time NFL leader in passer rating. But we seen last year 4,100 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions,
Mm-hmm.
and 915 yards on the ground.
And here's my take on that passer rating. Don't be surprised if that keeps it the same and he stays number one all year. And if that's the case, then honestly, we might witness one of the most statistical QB stats statistically of all time in I don't know how many years.
Yep. Listen, he's going to be the more athletic version of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I was gonna say Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. Yeah, it's not a bad take.
I wouldn't say Drew Brees because Drew Brees needed to throw with anticipation just to get, you know what I mean, to hit his guys in stride.
Still the yardage though, because it kind of balances out statistically.
Okay. I understand.
When you throw 5,000, I mean, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, the rating wasn't really as equal as compared to the yardage, but when you're throwing about 5,000 yards and you put up slightly over 100 passing rating, needless to say, that's still very good. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of attempts, but I give us credit.
Yeah, for sure. So, what would your 3 keys to the victory be?
For the AFC.
No, for the game tonight. Three
Oh,
keys.
okay, my bad. I didn't know what you quite meant. To me, honestly, 3 big keys. One, we need to do better on the run. I definitely want to see better O-line work on the run. I think the passing game, we've definitely excelled extremely on the passing game. I have no words to comment on that. But honestly, when it comes to the run game, oh man, we have a lot of work to do on that inside zone. Oh man. Um, Defensively wise, I just want to see some of these younger guys start stepping up, man. I need to start seeing Nate Wiggins more consistent. I need to start seeing my boy Malachi Stark start making some plays. Mike Green needs to get in there too. He needs to get more in the fun. I've been seeing him working, but he hasn't quite get to that brink yet. And I think this is the week where we might see him get to that brink of that point of action. The same goes for Roquan too. I think he's also a guy that needs to play much more on the blitz for him. We haven't really seen him a lot on the blitz lately. So that's another thing that I think could very much change with having to face a run offense, excuse me. But honestly, we just need to have a better run defense and honestly just pound the ball in. Those are honestly my two big takes. Honestly, I don't really have a third. It's just about we're gonna have to just play old school football this game. That's what it's really gonna have to boil down to this week. Who is better in the trenches?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the name of the game of football. But
And I love that. I love it because
oh,
it's nothing crazy. It's not overthinking. It's just make the
absolutely.
play, execute.
Yeah. So for me, my three keys is, of course, turnovers. We need to create turnovers and then not turn the ball over. 100%. Number two, I want to see, like you brought up Mike Green earlier, and that's a really good uh, point because with Kyle Van Noy missing this game and possibly a few extra with that hamstring, that's going to give Mike Green a lot more snaps. A lot more. Because his snaps doubled from week 1 to week 2 when Kyle actually got hurt in the Browns game.
Yep.
If he can I just want to get pressure on Goff. We know he's a pocket guy. I don't want to say from the outside. I mean, I'll take it how we can get it. But if we can, because they got a new center and a new right guard with Zeitler leaving and their old center retire. I can't remember his name. I think it's Glasgow, but I'll hold that to me. If we can create pressure in the middle for the pass and the run, we will fare very well tonight. Very well. And I don't see their defensive line, and this is the third key, I don't see their defensive line being able to get pressure. For one, Falele has to have a fabulous game. He's been getting on my nerves the last 2 weeks, so he needs to do something before I wall out. And last but not least, if you're going to tell me, if they're going to send 4, drop 7, and they want to play a zone, sure, they'll probably fare out. They'll play pretty good. But if they do what they normally like to do, and like I mentioned earlier, and play man, because like they're the 4th highest team to run man so far this year, I think Lamar is going to eat that defense up. And I want to see D-Hop get another touchdown.
I agree. I definitely would say if anybody is really into fantasy, definitely have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry in your starting lineup for sure. 100%. And that Baltimore defense. Because, oh man, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited, honestly. This is gonna be a trench battle, old school football, not moved. This is your boy Teen Isenbeck signing off on Monday Night Football. Let's get it, boys.
Let's get this dub. The flock.
Hell yeah. God bless y'all.
Prime time. Good night, guys.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.